For millennia, we have asked the same question: what happens when we die? Is consciousness merely a fleeting byproduct of our biology, or is there something more? Something that endures. The ancient philosophers called it the soul. Modern science, for the most part, dismissed it as myth. But in the strange and unsettling world of quantum mechanics, the line between matter and mind begins to blur. And within these paradoxes, some scientists believe they have found echoes of an answer, a hint that the soul may not be a spiritual concept, but a physical reality we are only just beginning to understand. These are the top 5 ways quantum physics could explain the soul. Number 5, quantum consciousness. At the heart of our brain is a network of microtubules, intricate protein structures that form the scaffolding of our cells. For decades, they were considered little more than cellular plumbing. But what if they were something more? The orchestrated objective reduction theory, or OR, proposed by Sir Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, suggests these microtubules act as quantum computers. They argue that consciousness arises from quantum processes happening within these structures. This isn't just a metaphor, it suggests our awareness, our very sense of self, is a coherent quantum state. If this is true, then consciousness isn't simply generated by the brain, it inhabits it. And if this quantum information isn't created by the brain, the question then becomes, where does it go when the brain ceases to function? Number 4, quantum entanglement and the universal mind. Imagine 2 particles linked in such a way that whatever happens to one instantly affects the other, no matter the distance separating them. This is not science fiction, it's a proven phenomenon called quantum entanglement. Albert Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance. Now extend this principle beyond simple particles. What if every particle that has ever interacted remains fundamentally connected? Some physicists theorize that the entire universe is a single, vast, entangled system. If our consciousness is a quantum process, as OR theory suggests, then perhaps our individual minds are not so individual after all. They could be entangled with a larger, universal field of consciousness. This idea echoes ancient spiritual beliefs of a collective soul or a universal mind. We may not just be in the universe, we might be a localized expression of it. Number 3, the holofractographic universe. What if the universe is a hologram? The holographic principle is a startling but mathematically sound theory suggesting that the reality we perceive in 3 dimensions is actually a projection from a 2-dimensional surface at the edge of the cosmos. Every piece of information that makes up our universe, including us, is encoded there. In this model, the whole is contained within every part. Your brain, therefore, might not be storing memories, but rather accessing them from this universal holographic field. Your consciousness is the lens through which a slice of this cosmic data is perceived. If the soul is a pattern of information, then under this model it would not be confined to the body. It would be non-local, encoded into the very fabric of space-time itself, eternally part of the universal hologram. Number 2, the zero-point field. Empty space is not empty. According to quantum field theory, even a perfect vacuum seethes with a background sea of energy, known as the zero-point field. It is a repository of all possibilities, a constant fluctuation of particles and antiparticles winking in and out of existence. Some thinkers, like the scientist and philosopher Erwin Laszlo, have proposed that this field is the memory of the universe. It could record the information of everything that has ever happened, from the birth of a star to the firing of a neuron in your brain. If consciousness leaves an energetic imprint, this is where it would be stored. Your life, your thoughts, your very essence would not dissipate into nothingness. Instead, they would become a permanent part of this cosmic energy field, a wave of information rippling through the quantum vacuum for eternity. Number 1. biocentrism and the observer effect. In the quantum world, reality is not fixed until it is observed. A particle can exist in a state of multiple possibilities, a superposition, until the act of measurement forces it to choose one. This is the observer effect. But what constitutes an observer? Physicist Robert Lanza takes this idea to its ultimate conclusion with his theory of biocentrism. He argues that life and consciousness don't just observe the universe, they create it. Space and time are not objects but tools of the mind. Without a conscious observer, reality is just an undefined wave of probability. In this framework, death cannot be a final event because you, the observer, are the very foundation of reality. The body may die, but the consciousness that created the experience of that body and its world simply shifts its perspective. It doesn't end, it merely stops creating that particular reality. From quantum computers in our brains to a holographic cosmos, these theories push the boundaries of what we call science. They challenge our most fundamental assumptions about life, death, and the nature of reality itself. We have been taught to see a world of separate objects, of distinct beginnings and definite ends. But the quantum realm suggests a different story, a story of connection, of information that can't be destroyed, and of a consciousness that may be far more fundamental than the matter it inhabits. The truth doesn't disappear. It simply waits in the spaces between what we know and what we are willing to imagine.